Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Tech Skill Builder. In last session, we have learned what is a React Native component and their types. So we have seen there are two types of component. One is a functional component. So function component is a simple JavaScript function, and we have seen like class component. It's a ESC class which extend React component. Now in this session, we are going to learn what is a props. So props means like properties. So in React Native, props is nothing but properties are a way to pass data from one component to another, typically from parents to child. So what is the use of sending data from one component to another? For example, I have to greet people, five person, then I'm not going to write a five component. Instead of that, I will write a one component and greet, I will specify the name of that person to be greet. So in that case, we can go for the props. We'll see through the example. So it's a way to pass the data from one component to another from typically from the parents to child. For example, our app.tsx is our parent and greeting.tsx is your child component. So they make component dynamic and reusable. So now we saw like to greet five-person. If suppose I want to greet five-person, then I need to write a five greeting component. But if suppose you will use these props from parents to child, so you just have to specify, you need to call this greeting component five times by specifying the name to be greet. So they make the component dynamic and the reusable, allowing you to customize behavior or appearance without rewriting the code. So we don't have to write again different components five times. Instead of that, we call that component five times with the dynamic value. So props are read-only inputs. For example, you are sending some value as a name text skill builder, so that you cannot change in the child component. So they are passed like HTML attributes in JSX. Like this is an example greeting. We are sending here name text skill builder. Again, we will see in our code how it will work. Okay, inside the component you can access them via props dot name or destructuring in bracket name. So what are the uses of the props in React Native? As I said, if suppose I have to greet 5%, then I will not going to write five different components. Instead of that, I will write one component and I will pass the dynamic value. So to customize the component, to change the text, styles, or its behavior. You can also pass the function, handle events like button click, touchable opacity on press, or your pressable. So on that we will write on press on some particular function we can pass as a props. Render dynamic content. Okay, display user data, images, all these are the example that you can do from the props through the props. Control layouts, passing dimension, alignment, and visibility. These are few examples where we can use the props in React Native. So in earlier we have heard this destructuring. Okay, so you can send props in two different ways, normal and destructuring ways. So what is a destructuring in React and JavaScript in general is a syntax that allow you to unpack values from arrays or properties from the object into distinct variables. Okay, that we'll see in again in the example how destructing work. Okay, in React, destructing is commonly used to simplify access to props, state, or context values, making your code cleaner and easier to read. So that is the use of destructing. Okay, so this is the example. You can see how you can use props in a function component. So we have defined simple greeting component where we are saying hello and the names. So names is coming from the props from the parent. So now how to call in parent component? So you need to specify this component name and name that is going to display hello and this name. So this name we are dynamically passing from the, for example, this we call in the app.tsx and this is your greeting.tsx. If suppose I will call multiple times with the different names, so that means we are reusing this component by only changing the name. Okay, that we'll see in example again. So that was what we have seen, that was your props in functional component. Now we'll see how to use props in class component. We know the component, the class which extend the component react.component is your React component, otherwise it's a ES6 simple ES6 class. So here greeting class greeting extend component and render, in that we are returning the view. Okay, so we have seen like in function component directly you can use props.name, but in case of the class component you need to use, if suppose you want to use that props, then this dot props dot name. Okay, this is the way you need to access that particular value from parents component to child component. Okay, this is the way. Now let's see how it will work in the code. Okay, we will have one greetings dot tsx. Okay, so I am making one child component, one component which will display the name. It will say the welcome react from react, and then simple we will take import view comma text from your React Native. Okay. And const greeting, this is a function component that we are checking how it will work in the, okay, here we can pass the props. Okay, and it's saying what is this? Okay, you specify this type. Okay, it's returning the view. Inside that view we will have the text. We'll say hello props dot name to hello welcome the name to take skill builder. Okay, and just give the style flex one, and then background color give orange. Okay, and for this you style like font size 618 and color is white. Okay, so this is our, and we need to do export default your component name greeting. Okay, so this is your functional component where we are accessing props. So you need to access like this. Okay, so now we need to call this child component in the main component. So our main component is app.tsx. Here we will specify, we'll say how to do greeting, and you need to pass name equal to Kiraj. What should it give the output? Saying like, it will say hello, welcome Dheeraj to. Let's try to run this application. Okay, clear. Sorry, from here VS Code clear runs and try to run by using npx active run Android and see the output. Okay, it's already run. Okay, your component, the child component, it's rendering through the your main component app.tsx. Whatever the value we have passed from the parent app.tsx, reflecting here. Okay, let's give some padding. Okay. Let's give some padding here. 20 pixel. Okay, what happened? It's not reflecting every time. So give the padding of 20 pixel. Oh, why it's not displaying? Because the text color is white. We need to do black. See, it's reflected. So padding 20, align cell is center. Okay, here justify contain center, so that it will come in the middle of the screen. Okay, font size, font weight will give 600. Okay, so that it will display in bold. So now your functional component means whatever the value we are passing from the parents to child, that is working in the functional component. So we have seen how to use props in functional component. Now same thing we will do from the class component. So let's create one class component, greeting class component dot tsx. Okay, so we need to import first React from React, and also we need to import component from the React. Okay, we need to import again same. So we will copy paste instead of writing everything. Okay, so let's see, this is your function. Now you need to convert this into class component. How we can do is by using class component name is your greeting class component. Okay, which extend, this is normal ES6 class which extends component, the component from React, then it will become your class component. So what is the syntax? It is render method, and inside that you need to return your view. Okay, so in functional component we have used this props dot name directly, but in class component we can use this keyword, these dot props dot name. Okay, read only. So let's try to use this component in app.tsx. Let's see greeting name, sorry, not greeting class component name equal to, okay, name equal to Alex. Now see, we have called this greeting class component in app.tsx by passing the value alex bin. So here in first component we have passed name as a Dheeraj, and here we pass as a alex bin. So it's working. Again, let's see. Take skill. Okay, that also it's rendering. So we have seen like creating the functional component and passing props from parents to your child. So greeting and greeting class components are the child component where we are showing the name dynamically. So to show any things dynamically, we can use props whenever there is a chance to send something from parents to child. For example, button is one component, it's a child component, and app.tsx is a our main component. And from button, if suppose we have to apply title dynamically, then we need to say. So we have seen the what is the props and what is the use of the props in real time example. We create a functional component, how to access in functional component and how to access in class component. So props is nothing but your properties that you are going to send from parents to child. We also have seen to greet multiple people by using single component, just calling that component with a different name. We pass the different name through the app.tsx. It's a, you can say it's a parent, and greetings class component are the child component. Okay, so as you see, this is a reusable, that those components are the reusable. You don't have to write a different code for the different persons to greet. Okay, so props we have seen, these are read only inputs, you cannot change the value. Okay, and we also have seen how to access that particular child component in a parent component by passing their names. Okay, we have seen uses of the props. You need to change text color, you need to change the name, button clicks, display user data, images, etc. So these are different uses. We will see the real-time examples whenever it will comes in use. We also seen the destructuring. Okay, so we have seen this using the props in function component, how it is used and all. And this code is for using props in the class component. So we created the class component which extend the component from the React, and this dot props dot name in curly bracket. How this is how you need to access in class component, and in functional component simply you can say name, or if suppose you are simply writing like this, not destructive, then you just specify the name like this and just access the props dot name. Okay, so like this also you can access the. Okay, so we have learned the very important topics, the props. Okay, I hope by using this session you understood what is a props, what are the uses of props, how you can, how the props, the component makes reusable. Okay, so I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe the channel if suppose you are new to this. Okay.